My screen. Can you see the presentation? Okay, okay, very good. So, the title of today's lecture is Free Energy. It is not there in your syllabus as such. Title is not there. I have put all the topics in the syllabus under this title, that is Free Energy, because today we are going to discuss about this free energy. So, free energy is not something that comes free of charge. Okay, this is the energy that is available to do the work. Energy which is available for you to do the work is called as free energy. um, uh, People have some property, some bank balance, okay, or some FDs. So FD is an asset. Gold is an asset, okay, but it is not available to spend. Suppose you want to buy an ice cream, you won't break an FD, or you won't sell your gold. Those are your assets. For buying the ice cream, you will just take the money which is there in your pocket. So that money in the pocket is nothing but the free energy. For the sale also, the energy that is available to do the work is called as free energy. In your body you have lot of fats. When fats are degraded, you will get lot of ATP molecules. But when the fats will be degraded, and then those ATP molecules will be available for other biological work. Okay, so merely having the fats doesn't mean that you have energy to do the work. Okay, energy will be available only when the fats will be degraded to form ATP molecules, and then those ATP molecules will be available to do the work. Okay, so that is the difference between free energy and other forms of energy. So keep this in your mind, that free energy is the energy available to do the work. So the cells require the sources of free energy. Cells also require the source of free energy. जैसे आपको भी पैसों के लिए आप किसी पे डिपेंड रहना पड़ता है, इधर मम्मी और पापा और अंकल, somebody will give you some pocket money and you can spend it. So similarly cells also depends on certain sources of free energy, and based on that cells are classified. For example, they are classified as autotrophs and heterotrophs. So why cells require free energy? Cells require free energy because they are isothermal system. Cells are isothermal system. They function at essentially constant temperature. सेल्स फंक्शन एट द कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर. जैसे हमारा टेम्परेचर रहता है 37 डिग्री सेल्सियस. ओके, तो अगर कम ज़्यादा हो गया देन वी फॉल सिक, वी कांट डू द वर्क. we function only at specific temperature. Okay, whereas the temperature can also do the work, but in which condition temperature do the work? Temperature do the work when it flows from the higher temperature region to lower temperature region. When temperature flows from higher temperature region to lower temperature region, then only it carry out the work, then only it can do the work. But in biological system this doesn't happen. Okay, because biological systems are isothermal. Even though there is the slight change in the temperature, the system get disturbed. Okay, so one thing is sure, that temperature cannot do the work in biological system. अगर टेम्परेचर वर्क करता बायोलॉजिकल सिस्टम में तो क्या होता, हम लोग धूप में जाके खड़े हो जाते हैं एंड वी वुड हैव गॉट द एनर्जी. जस्ट लाइक वो कोई मिल गया फिल्म आई थी, उसमें वो एक जादू रहता है, एलियन. दैट जादू गेट्स द एनर्जी फ्रॉम सनलाइट. तो हमको भी अगर ऐसे टेम्परेचर से मिलता तो वी कुड हैव स्टैंड इन दी धूप, लाइट, सनलाइट, और हम लोग गैस पे जाके बैठ जाते, है ना. So by that way we could have got the energy, but that doesn't happen because our system is an isothermal system, and in isothermal system the temperature cannot do the work, because temperature can do work only when it flows from higher zone to lower zone. So what can provide energy to us? It is the free energy. The energy that cell can and must use is the free energy. The free energy which is available to do the work. And in biological system we have studied that ATP molecules or the similar molecules like GTP, or you can say NADPH, NADH, these molecule acts as the free energy. Now, cells are differentiated into autotrophs and heterotrophs. So, heterotrophic cells acquire energy from nutrient molecules. So, we are all heterotrophs and we acquire our energy from the nutrients that we consume. Whereas the photosynthetic organisms acquire it from the solar radiations. Okay, but even though we acquire it from the nutrient and photosynthetic acquire it from the solar radiation, the ultimately this energy is converted into ATP and other energy rich compounds. Okay, so whether it is a energy coming from nutrient molecule, that is chemical energy, or whether it is coming from the sun, that is the solar radiation or solar energy, ultimately it is converted into free energy, that is ATP or other energy rich compounds, and then it is used by the cells. Okay, so cells require the source of free energy. Now we have studied that the free energy is designated as G and free energy change is designated as delta G. Okay, so there is one concept, that is standard free energy change. Free energy change and standard free energy change are two different things. Free energy change is simple free energy change, that is the energy content of product minus energy content of reactants. And what is standard free energy change? That is the energy change energy content of product minus energy content of reactants under standard conditions of temperature, pressure and concentration. Okay, so now we will discuss two concepts and how they are related with each other. Number one is the standard free energy change, and this standard free energy change and the equilibrium constant. So this standard free energy change and equilibrium constant, they are directly related with each other. They are directly related to each other. The composition of a reacting system tends to continue changing until an equilibrium is reached. So composition means what? Composition of reacting system means what? Reacting system contains the reactants, it contains the products, so they are the major component. Then there is a rate of forward reaction and rate of backward reaction. Forward reaction means reactants are converted into products, and backward reaction means products are converted into reactants. Okay, so these are the four important components of reacting system. So the composition of this reacting system tends to continue changing until an equilibrium is attained. Now what is the meaning of equilibrium? Equilibrium means equal concentration of products and reactants, equal concentration of product and reactants, and equal rate of the forward reaction and the backward reaction. So at equilibrium what happens? The concentration of reactants is equal to concentration of, so the concentration of reactants and concentration of product is equal at equilibrium. Also, the rates of forward reactions are equal to rate of backward reaction or reverse reaction, and there is no net change occurs in this system. So this state is called as equilibrium state. So all reactions try to achieve this equilibrium. We are now familiar with this equilibrium constant, that is the concentration of reactants and products at the equilibrium. And what is the standard free energy change? So that we, it is the K equilibrium is equal to the concentration of C raised to small c, concentration of D raised to small d, divided by concentration of A raised to small a and B raised to small b. In short, the equilibrium constant is equal to the product of the concentration of products divided by the product of concentration of reactants. So that is the simple definition for K equilibrium equation. So here the A, B, C, D, these are the molar concentration. Now come to the free energy change. So free energy, as we discussed, that it is the energy available to do the work when a reacting system is not at equilibrium. Okay, when reacting system is not at equilibrium means the reactants are being converted into products or products are being converted into reactants, means they are active. So when the reacting system is not at equilibrium, the tendency to move towards equilibrium represents a driving force. So they try to move towards equilibrium. So that is the driving force behind that particular reaction, the magnitude of which can be expressed as free energy change for the reaction, and it is standard free energy change. So under standard conditions of chemical reactions, okay, so the chemical system, and we should have some specific system for the standard conditions. Okay, so by this definition, the standard state of reaction that involves hydrogen ion is 1 molar, and 1 mole is equal to pH 0. So when the concentration of proton is 1, then 1 mole, then the pH is 0, and at this condition biological system cannot function. Most biological systems are working at pH 7, and it is a buffered system. We are familiar with buffer, but we have to redefine the standard free energy with respect to the biological system. So for convenience of 0.5 mole. So for reactions that involve Mg2 plus ion, its concentration in solution is commonly taken to be 1 millimole and not 1 mole. Now many reactions where ATP molecules are involved, those reactions involve the role of these magnesium ions. Physical constant, standard conditions. Okay, so statement is that the standard free energy change is directly related to equilibrium constant. So this delta G prime Z degree is directly proportional to K equilibrium. So by convention, when water, protons or Mg2 plus are reactants or products, their concentrations are not free energy change under biological conditions. So there is a simple relationship between K equilibrium and delta G prime 0, and that is given by this equation. Delta G prime degree is equal to minus RT natural log of equilibrium constant. So here you can see that the free energy change is directly related to the K equilibrium, and it is related by this minus RT, where the R is gas constant and T is the absolute temperature. This IN for LN for natural logarithm. Okay, if you are using mobiles, then you can take the screenshot, and if you are using the laptop or other devices, you can write it down. So I'll share the presentation with you as well. So the standard free energy change of a chemical reaction is simply an alternative mathematical way of expressing its equilibrium constant. So in case of chemical reactions, the standard free energy change is used to express the equilibrium constant. If the equilibrium constant of given chemical reaction is 1, if it is 1, the standard free energy change of that reaction is 0. If equilibrium constant is 1. Now why can you give me the reason behind this? If the equilibrium constant is 1, then the standard free energy change is 0. See formula. If you have written the formula, delta G is equal to minus RT natural log of K equilibrium. So K equilibrium is 1. So natural log of 1 is 0. Therefore the entire value becomes 0, and hence the free energy change is. So if K equilibrium of a reaction is greater than 1, if K equilibrium is more than 1, then the free energy change is negative. So whenever it is more than 1, then the uh, value will be positive, and as a result, since it is minus RT, so that minus RT will be introduced into the figure, and your value for delta G will become negative. So G0 prime will be negative. Now what is the meaning of this free energy change, standard free energy change as negative? It means that the free energy of product is lower than free energy of reactant. Okay, so free energy of product is low than free energy of reactant, therefore the free energy change is negative. Okay, and when this free energy change is negative, when the K equilibrium is greater than 1. So if the K equilibrium is less than 1, then what will happen? If K equilibrium is less than 1, then the natural log will be negative. So negative natural log multiplied by negative that RT. So together they will become positive. Negative negative will be positive. As a result, the free energy change will be positive. So free energy change is positive. It means that the free energy content of the product is higher than free energy content of reactant, and therefore the free energy change is positive. Okay, so this is how the K equilibrium and the standard free energy are directly related with each other. So K equilibrium अगर 1 से ज़्यादा रहा, free energy change will be negative. K equilibrium अगर 1 से कम रहा, the free energy change will be positive. And we have studied that in all biochemical reaction the entropy of universe increases. That is, in all reactions somehow the energy is released. As a result, the energy content of product is less than energy content of reactants. Okay, so because the relationship between the free energy change and K equilibrium is exponential, a relative small change in free energy change corresponds to large change in K equilibrium. So we will see some number 3. Now it is are related with each other. So if the standard free energy change, the standard free energy change is the difference between free energy content of the product and free energy content of reactants under standard conditions. We have studied the standard conditions in biological system. So when delta G prime 0, or the standard free energy change in biological condition is negative, the product contains less energy than the reactants, and the reaction will proceed spontaneously under standard conditions. All chemical reactions tend to go in the direction that results in decrease in the free energy of this system. Okay, so it will move very smoothly towards formation of. And what about the positive free energy change? A positive value of standard free energy change means that the product of reaction contains more energy than the reactants. Product has more energy than the reactants. That's why the free energy change is positive. Such reactions are endergonic reactions. Okay, and they are very difficult to be carried out, and anytime they can reverse their direction, and products can be converted into the reactants, and therefore to complete these reactions some energy input is given. Okay, जैसे आप ब्रिज पर कोई साइकिल ढकेलते हुए लेकर जा रहे हो, अचानक आपकी एनर्जी खत्म हो गई, द साइकिल विल कम डाउन. Okay, so the reaction can reverse. Okay, so sequential reaction. So, for example, suppose there is a chemical reaction in which A is converted into B and B is converted into C. So these are two different reactions, but they are sequential reaction. B which is substrate in the first reaction, which is reactant in the second reaction, is actually the product of first reaction. So both these reactions have separate equilibrium constant and they have separate free energy change. Okay, both of them have separate free energy change, which is designated as the delta G1 prime degree and delta G2 prime degree, and they have the separate K equilibrium. Now, since they are sequential reaction, ultimately the reaction will be A is converted into C. Reaction is A is converted into C, and this overall reaction, it also has its own equilibrium constant and its own free energy change. It also has its own free energy change and the equilibrium constant. So now the free energy change for the conversion of A to C is denoted as the standard free energy change in biological condition total. So this total means it is actually the free energy change when the A is converted into C, and it is actually the summation of the free energy change of reaction number 1. We'll see it with one example. A very simple example is there. So a thermodynamically unfavorable, that is endergonic reactions, can be driven in forward direction exergonic. Okay, and they have a common intermediate. So example is of the synthesis of glucose 6-phosphate, which is the first step in the glycolysis. Now in this synthesis of glucose 6-phosphate, what happens? One molecule of inorganic phosphate, glucose, reacts with inorganic phosphate and it forms glucose 6-phosphate and a molecule of water. Now this glucose 6-phosphate has high free energy as compared to glucose. Therefore, the free energy change for this reaction is positive. It is positive 13.8 kilojoule. 13.8 kilojoule is a positive value. So this reaction cannot proceed smoothly. It requires some input from the other reaction. So therefore, to make it spontaneous, this reaction is coupled with another reaction, which is exergonic reaction. So exergonic reaction is ATP plus H2O giving ADP plus inorganic. Rest of the energy is dissipated in the surrounding in the form of heat. So minus 30.5 plus 13.8. What will be the answer? कितना आएगा? 30 minus 30.5 plus 13.8. Answer is minus 16.7 kilojoule per mole. So the free energy change for this total is my total reaction, both the reaction is minus 16.7 kilojoule per mole. So minus sign indicates that energy is released, therefore the overall reaction is exergonic. It is exergonic reaction. So it obeys the second law of thermodynamics, that all biochemical reactions tends to increase the entropy of universe. The energy stored in ATP is used to drive the synthesis of glucose 6-phosphate. We have seen that minus 30.5 kilojoule energy is used for the synthesis of glucose 6-phosphate. The pathway of glucose 6-phosphate formation by phosphoryl transfer, we can justify that the standard free energy change are additive. So in thermodynamic calculations, All that matter is the state of system at the beginning of the process and state at the end of process. The route between the initial and final state is immaterial. So we just have to consider what was the free energy content of glucose and ATP, and what was the free energy content of the glucose 6 phosphate and ADP. So the only we have to consider the initial and final state. We don't have to consider about the intermediate reactions. Okay, so that is the thing that we remember in the uh, biochemical calculations. So based on this, there are